Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome back to our channel where we discover all things spiritual. My name is Danielle. I'm like your spiritual guide on this very treacherous journey. Today we have a topic that was actually requested, and that is how do we release triggers on our spiritual journey. So grab a cup of coffee or wine, no judgment here, and let's get into a very touchy topic. All right, so first let's explore what is a trigger. A trigger is something that has the power or capability to take you out of centeredness. In my experience, it's often that thing that wakes you up in the middle of the night, the thing that you are ruminating on, giving a story to. It's like a little alarm clock on the inside screaming, hey, pay attention to me, I need to be handled. But in all seriousness, triggers are often things that can lead us to resurrecting past traumas, anxiety, or even a full-blown meltdown. And believe me, I've been there, and I've been on this journey for quite a while now, so you are not alone. And if you experience them still, you are not failing. And one more fun fact is that 75% of adults admit to experiencing one trigger a week. That's a lot of people walking around triggered, right? You're definitely not alone, as I said, and the good news is there's actually ways to handle those, which we're going to get into right now. So first you need to understand, what are your triggers? I know that sounds pretty simple, but sometimes you have to scratch the surface because the spilled coffee that you think is what triggered you is actually not. So how do we identify those? So let's get out our trusty journal and keep drilling down. So what happened? I spilled the coffee. What happened after that? Well, I was frustrated. What happened after that? Well, it kind of reminded me of a time when I was a kid and got yelled at for spilling juice. And then I realized that I'm back there as that 8-year-old kid. Now, that is a long journey. That is not necessarily how deep it has to go. But do you see how we started with one spilled cup of coffee? And you had this blow up and you're like, man, that seems out of proportion to what's happening here. So we need to know what's under the surface. So definitely keep a journal, track the big and the small, and ask yourself what's happening in there. Step number 2, you'll be shocked to know, is mindfulness. And I know some of you are rolling your eyes at this point, but I'll give you a personal example of how this actually works in my life. I started meditating and being present for 10 minutes a day about 4 years ago. And now I can sense those triggers in my body. I can feel them coming on. I have been able to sit with my body present and centered and say, man, my chest feels a little tight. Or you notice the same thought going through your head over and over. And it's just that, it's that simple. But with the practice of mindfulness, I've been able to say, oh, there goes that thought again. Did something trigger that? Or is that just the same old story lingering around? It helps me stay centered and grounded a lot longer because I no longer get lost in the story of the trigger. And if meditation is not your thing, you can actually practice a lot of things mindfully. You can practice mindfully eating. Notice how your body responds to the food before you've actually eaten it, afterwards. Or, this is a really silly example, you can actually be mindful while you wash your hands. You can notice the water on your hands. You can notice the feel of the bubbles of the soap. You can notice the smell of the soap. You can notice how you feel refreshed after washing them and how the towel feels on your hands. Just take a few minutes each day and drop into your life, your present moment, and see how that feels. Step number 3 is challenge your thoughts. So if you have practiced meditation as in step 2, and you notice that the same thought keeps coming up, challenge that. Is this true, or am I making it bigger than it is? Or even the highest step on the ladder, am I catastrophizing? Is this really going to happen? I read recently that your mind pumps out around 60,000 thoughts a day. And if you're not checking those thoughts, you start believing them. And I'll be honest with you, not a lot of them are true. I, of course, like everyone else, have childhood trauma, and it makes me feel like I'm not considered, I'm not seen. So that is a recurring theme in my life, and I have to check that actively, or else I am still that 7-year-old little girl who's not seen, when that is not true. I am now a almost 40-year-old woman, and I'm seen and loved by many. So challenge your thoughts. Is it true? If you believe that it is true, look for evidence of the opposite. That is often helpful. More often than not, you will find that your mind is playing tricks on you. Step number 4 is set healthy boundaries. I am not asking you to run away from your problems, but if there are certain people or places or experiences that send you out of your normal centered self, I know toxic is a buzzword these days, it's often overused, but if you find yourself in toxic situations, remove yourself from that. One of the biggest things that I've had to do on this spiritual journey that was very scary for me as a former gossip queen was I had to tell my friends, I don't want to gossip anymore. And at first they were like, you're the queen of that. I mean, they didn't say that, but I could tell by the looks on their face. But I no longer wanted to participate in those, and I'm allowed to grow as a person. So I did this scary thing, and I said that out loud. And something really, really beautiful happened. My friends said later down the line, maybe a year or so, I no longer want to gossip either. And let us set healthy boundaries start with you and watch something beautiful happen. Again, I'm not asking you to run away from your problems. I am asking you to protect your precious, precious peace. Remember, it is okay to say no, because protecting your mental health is much, much better than people pleasing. Step 5 is to seek support. Find someone that you can go on this journey with, or who will at least let you vent to or bounce off of on your journey. I strongly recommend a therapist in all forms of life, someone who is looking at your life from an outside view and can give you a different perspective that is not emotionally involved in your story. But if you do not have that, you can also tell a trusted friend or a confidant or a mentor, hey, I'm trying to work on this thing and I need you to help me if you are emotionally available for that. It is a lot to dump your problems on someone, so make sure that whoever you are doing that with is open and available for that. And if you do not have that, you can definitely tell me, you can tell our community in the comments, you can definitely find people that will support you online as a start if you're scared to seek it in person first. Now that we've talked about releasing those triggers, let's talk about how to stay centered on your spiritual path. You want to first create a daily ritual. For me, this is immediately after brushing my teeth and making a coffee, I meditate. I spend 10 minutes with myself and my mind and see what the heck is going on up there. But you can also journal that out if it's not your thing to meditate. You can just spend a few minutes each morning journaling. I have found it very powerful to create an intention for the day. As a bossy, quote unquote, alpha female, I am often finding myself recently working on, I want to be kind. I want to be kind today, less bossy and more in the flow of things and kinder and softer. So just for yourself, find time to sit with yourself and create a ritual, a daily habit of keeping yourself grounded. Step 2 is to get out in nature. And this is so much more powerful than I could ever make it sound. I actually am going to tell you as everyone in the community and most people in society have some type of unhealed trauma. Getting out into nature for as little as 2 minutes, as observing nature for as little as 2 minutes a day can reset your nervous system. Yes, it is that powerful. It's a way to reset your energy and to reconnect with the universe and watch some birds or some rabbits. I love to watch the deer in my backyard and just be in nature. You do not have to take it as far as taking off your shoes and feeling the grass, although I highly recommend it for many reasons, scientific reasons included, but just be out in nature. Before 10 a.m. is ideal. The morning sunlight is great for your circadian rhythm, so it'll keep you grounded and refreshed all day. Practice self-compassion. Yes, step number 3 is probably the hardest one, and I don't know why we find it so hard to be kind to ourselves. I had a therapist frame it for me. If I spoke to my friends the way I spoke to myself, I wouldn't have any friends. And why? I'm supposed to be my best homegirl. Like, why am I treating myself that way? So when you start meditating or journaling and start tracking your thoughts, start realizing how mean you are and how unkind you are to your own self, and start there. Practice self-compassion. Healing and progress is not a linear thing. You're going to have some high days and you're going to have some low days, and all of that is okay. Be kind to yourself and let us start with you first. Last up is stay curious. Keep a beginner's mind. Look at every situation as you have never seen it before, and you are open to all possibilities that are going to happen. This is very challenging for me. I have very staunch opinions. I am stuck in my ways and very old school when it comes to that. So just be open to whatever new presents itself. I also want to tell you that if you are on this journey and you are trying to release triggers and you are trying to just be more in the now and grounded, there are 2 fantastic books that I believe are available on YouTube. One is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. He's rather blunt, so if he's not your style, you can definitely check out The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. He's a little bit more simmered down. Both of those men have had spiritual awakenings and are on the path, and will definitely tell you how to rock with what's in front of you and let it go. All right, my beautiful souls, that is all I have for you today. I want you to remember that progress is a journey and not a destination. Be patient with yourself on the path. If you found this video helpful, or if you know someone struggling with releasing triggers, like and subscribe, share it with a friend. Come back here and definitely let me know about your path. That is why I created this channel. I want to find my online tribe and share all of the knowledge I have found. So that is why we're here. Meet me back here soon. Until then, good luck on the journey.